In a shocking and emotional moment that's now making waves across social media, BTS member Jin has allegedly opened up about something few fans ever expected to hear: his growing concern over Jungkook's distant and unrecognizable behavior during their recent beach reunion in Los Angeles. What was supposed to be a joyous celebration of their brotherhood, following Jin's exhausting solo concert tour, has now turned into a whirlwind of speculation and heartbreak for ARMY around the world. Sources close to the group claim that during the group's time at the beach, while other members laughed, splashed in the waves, and reminisced on old memories, Jungkook seemed unusually reserved. Jin, known for his bright presence and emotional transparency, reportedly tried several times to engage him, calling his name, nudging him playfully, even initiating group games that Jungkook used to love. But the youngest member's response? A subtle smile at most, followed by long moments of silence and distraction, his eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses and a hoodie that never came off. Even under the sun, one staff member allegedly overheard Jin speaking quietly to Jimin near the bonfire later that evening. "He's not the same anymore," Jin whispered, his voice barely holding back emotion. "I don't know what he's thinking. He doesn't talk to me like before." That statement alone sent shockwaves through fans who have always believed in the unwavering bond between BTS members, especially the deep connection between Jin and Jungkook, often referred to as the playful hyung-magne duo. Some fans speculate that Jungkook's shift could be due to mounting pressures from behind the scenes. Others believe that the solo spotlight he's stepped into recently might be weighing on him more than expected. Yet, for Jin to be the one expressing fear and sadness, that's what's truly concerning ARMY. Jin has always protected Jungkook like a little brother, from their earliest days as trainees to the peak of global superstardom. For him to now voice feelings of disconnection, the emotional toll must be immense. While there's been no official statement from either HYB or the members themselves, a cryptic post appeared on Jin's private friend-sharing platform, according to insiders, where he wrote, "Sometimes you think you know someone and then you realize you don't. Not anymore." Fans are torn. Was it about Jungkook? Was it a general reflection? Or is something much deeper brewing beneath their public smiles? The beach, once a symbol of unity and relief after months of distance, now carries a new weight. As clips and photos continue to surface, ARMYs are examining every glance, every step, and every missed interaction between Jin and Jungkook. "I just want them to be okay," one fan posted. "We've seen them support each other through everything. Please let this just be a moment, not a fracture." For now, the world watches and waits. Will Jin and Jungkook address this silence? Or will the waves carry their unresolved distance further away? Only time, and perhaps the next reunion, will tell. As the sun set behind the beach that day, fans could only imagine what lingered in Jin's heart long after the ocean breeze faded. For someone who had always been a symbol of laughter, warmth, and unwavering support within BTS, his quiet sorrow over Jungkook's emotional distance painted a far more haunting portrait of their reunion than any photo could capture. The images from that day, Jungkook walking a few steps ahead, sunglasses never removed, not joining the others in the water, have now taken on an entirely new meaning. What once looked like a serene escape is now under a microscope of emotional analysis. Back in Seoul, insiders claim that Jin remained unusually quiet following the beach trip. Unlike his usual habit of uploading funny behind-the-scenes moments or quirky selfies, his online presence went cold. One cryptic comment on his fan platform, "I thought the ocean would fix things, but it just showed me how far we've drifted," ignited a storm of interpretations. Some believe this confirms what fans had feared, that something has shifted irreversibly between him and Jungkook. Behind the scenes, murmurs suggest that Jin even requested a one-on-one meeting with Bang Si-hyuk shortly after returning from the US. Though the content of that discussion remains private, a staff member allegedly overheard Jin saying before entering the meeting room, "I need to talk about him. About us. It's not right anymore." That him was never confirmed, but fans are convinced he meant Jungkook. It's not the first time ARMY has speculated tension between BTS members, but this time feels different. This time, it came from Jin himself, a member who has always shielded the group's internal struggles with humor and patience. For him to openly voice fear about losing Jungkook, even indirectly, suggests a crack in their foundation that no one saw coming. Yet amid the growing concern, there are glimmers of hope. A single moment, caught on a fan camera, shows Jungkook glancing back at Jin as the group left the beach. It was brief, fleeting, but there was something in his eyes. Regret, maybe? Longing? Perhaps even confusion at his own behavior. Whatever it was, it reminded fans that despite emotional walls, something still connects them. Something that maybe, just maybe, hasn't broken, only bruised for now. Fans continue to send messages of love and support to both Jin and Jungkook, hoping that whatever invisible weight lingers between them will lift in time. After all, BTS has faced storms before and always found their way back to each other. But this one feels heavier, more personal. And as ARMY holds its collective breath, the question remains, will the ocean that once separated them now bring them back together or pull them further apart? Jin's lingering sorrow seemed to echo long after the waves had receded and the cameras were turned off. As ARMY continues to piece together fragments from that emotional beach reunion, questions only grow louder. About Jungkook's emotional detachment, about Jin's quiet heartbreak, and about whether the bond fans once thought unbreakable might be tested in ways no one ever imagined. Days after the beach gathering, Jin was reportedly seen alone in a quiet cafe in Hanamdong, Seoul. Witnesses described him as contemplative, hunched slightly as he scrolled through his phone, sipping tea with a faraway look in his eyes. Fans began to speculate. Was he reading old messages from Jungkook? Was he watching videos from the beach that now felt like a distant memory rather than a reunion? Meanwhile, online spaces exploded with theories. Some suggested that Jungkook's change in demeanor might be linked to personal struggles, artistic differences, or perhaps even unresolved tensions about their future as BTS. Jin, having carried much of the group's emotional weight through his tour and now through this unexpected silence, has never looked more vulnerable. Yet he hasn't lashed out. He hasn't blamed. He's simply hurting. In a particularly raw moment captured by a fan translator on X, Jin's recent live broadcast included a line that shook the fandom. Even when people stand beside you, it doesn't mean they're still with you. Though he smiled through most of the broadcast, that one sentence was enough to draw a collective gasp from the community. Was it directed at Jungkook? At someone else? Or was it just a reflection of the silent distance he's been feeling? The worst part for fans is the uncertainty. Jin and Jungkook were always known for their playful, teasing interactions, moments of real warmth and brotherhood. Now, even their silence speaks volumes. The pain of not knowing whether they're okay, whether they've talked, or whether this distance is just temporary, has left ARMY in collective emotional limbo. And yet, there's still hope. Because if there's anything BTS has taught their fans, it's that love, no matter how strained, does not simply vanish. Jin may be hurting. Jungkook may be distant, but love like theirs doesn't disappear overnight. Perhaps, with time, honesty, and space, their story will lead to a powerful reconciliation. Perhaps one day soon, fans will once again see the two smiling side by side, not just for the cameras, but because their hearts have found their way back to each other. Until then, every fan message, every letter, every whispered prayer carries one plea: come back to each other. Because some bonds, no matter how bruised, are worth saving. And then, just when fans thought the silence between Jin and Jungkook would stretch endlessly into the void, a glimmer appeared, quiet, almost imperceptible. A grainy photo emerged online, allegedly taken by a barista in a tucked-away cafe in LA. It showed two figures seated across from each other, heads slightly bowed, one with a distinct silver bracelet and the other hiding behind a hoodie and cap. No faces were clearly visible, but to ARMY, the outline was unmistakable. Jin. Jungkook. The internet exploded. Was this the moment? The talk that had to happen? Was this the beginning of healing, or merely a reluctant truce? Back in Korea, Jin posted a black and white photo to his social media. No caption, just a silhouette of two shadows walking side by side on a beach. It wasn't tagged, wasn't explained, but the timing was too precise. Fans wept in the comments. They knew. They didn't need words. What followed was silence again. But this time, it didn't feel cold. It felt intentional, peaceful even, as though whatever needed to be said between the two had finally been said. Whether it was reconciliation, confrontation, or simple understanding, it had been reached. And now, they could begin to breathe again. For Jin, it's never been about spectacle. He's always spoken through the quiet moments,